Hey everyone, okay, so today I'm going to show you how to get a flawless face and have it look very, very natural. So what you're going to need is foundation, you're going to need some face colour, blusher, bronzer, a setting spray and some powder. So I'm going to be using a foundation now, and I'm going to use a cream foundation, and I'm just going to dip it into my brush and I'm just going to knock it onto the face to begin with, and then I'm just going to buff it in. Now you can of course use a sponge, use a liquid, use a powder, whatever you want, it's absolutely fine. But I'm going to use a brush because it works quite well for my skin, and my skin isn't particularly dry, so using brushes works very, very well for me. And mine are very, very soft, which obviously helps. Now I don't want to apply huge amounts, but I do want the skin to look pretty much as flawless as possible without it taking on that kind of mannequin effect, which I don't think looks very attractive, but that's just me making sure I'm getting it into the hairline, and of course my beard area as well, as this area here gets very red. I have some beard irritation in general. It only happens when I grow a beard. There's a name for it, but I've forgotten it. And there's not too much I can do about it because I've tried. But it makes the skin underneath the beard quite red, and when you kind of scratch it, and it doesn't itch, you get this gorgeous beard dandruff. It's so hot. I know. Sexy, aren't I? Alright, so that looks quite nice to me. Now I'm going to cover my earlobe, because my earlobe is usually one, but sometimes two, can be quite red. So I'm just going to cover that as well, just so that it's, you know, all one colour. Now I'm quite happy with that, but I'm going to apply just a smattering of a lighter foundation just into the interior portion, or the inside portion of my eye. Get rid of whatever that is. Goodbye. Go away. This is just to brighten up that inner corner a little bit. Just stipple over it. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So that, because I'm going to use a powder colour, it's a good idea that I set the foundation first. So I'm going to take some loose powder and a powder puff. Any powder puff will do. And I'm just going to start to just tap it all over the face, all over the foundation. So everywhere that I've applied foundation, I need to set it. That will include my ears. If you've applied foundation to your neck, you need to set it. Behind your ears, you need to set it. You've got to set everything that you've applied foundation, because otherwise it just doesn't last. A powder and a puff is still your best friend when it comes to setting your makeup. And one of the reasons that I like to use less foundation is so I can use more powder, because I'm still a big fan of powder. Regardless of one's age, I think it just completes a look. I think it finishes a look. So I'd like to add some colour now. So I'm going to take a nice blusher, and I'll link all the products I've used. Or I've got an itchy nose, I'm going to have to itch it. Much better. Okay, so I'm going to take some colour, and I'm just going to kind of dust it here, because this is where I like to have colour. And then I circle it up, so it's pretty much sweeping my eyelashes as I do that, because I just think it looks really quite healthy when colour comes up a little bit higher than you normally would anticipate. I also like to really kind of touch just above the eyebrows with a bit of colour, and I really like to touch the bridge of the nose as well. Just massive fan of blusher. I just think blush is one of the most underrated products, because it just adds instant kind of life to the face, And I just love it. I very much love it. Now that looks pretty good to me. I'm absolutely overjoyed with that. So next you want to use a setting spray. So I'm just going to set the face with a bit of a setting spray and just allow that to kind of sink into the skin for a little bit. And I'm really quite pleased with that foundation. I could have added a touch more on the corners of the eyes, but I'm not that fussed on it. You know, I think it looks absolutely fine. So your next step that you're going to do, and this should be done when all of your makeup has been completed. I want you to take your powder puff and I want you to load some powder on there. So make sure there's some powder and then smooth it onto the powder puff, okay? And then give it that kind of bend and just really work it into the powder puff. And you'll know when there's enough on there because when you flick it, you'll see little remnants of powder. So load it up, just really give it a good working through. When all your makeup is complete, and that's the whole of the makeup is completely done, take your setting spray and give it a shake. And then I want you to 3 or 4 times on the puff, spray it. With it still slightly damp, I now want you to go over your entire face. Start on one side only. And you can feel when it starts to dry on the sponge, then move to the other side. And again, tap and press all over. You've already put powder on it, then you put setting spray on, so you're getting that double bang of product. And this is going to really ensure that your skin not only looks really, really good and hopefully realistic, so that you can fool people into thinking that you really are absolute goddess. But you've got the longevity. You've got longevity and you've got the flawlessness. And look at that. I mean, this is filmed in technically it's filmed in 6K, but that's flawless. That looks really flawless to me. As flawless as I personally want it. I absolutely could have gone with a much more full coverage look, but I don't like that. I don't find it looks good. I don't find it looks attractive. So I prefer to keep it more natural. But look, skin looks fine. It looks absolutely great. It's pretty flawless. You know, technically speaking, and this is just my own sheer kind of, oh, I'm going to itch my nose again, from my own kind of just nonchalant way of just dipping into foundations. Technically speaking, the foundation color is a bit dark. My neck is much lighter than my face, and I'm aware of that. Looking in the mirror and probably seeing it on camera, which I might do when I edit. Well, I will do when I edit, since I'm the one that edits. Apart from the house tour video, didn't edit that, and you could probably tell. So I could have gone a lot lighter, good shade or 2 lighter with my foundation, but otherwise, I'm very happy with that. I could put a bit of bronzer here to blend the whole thing in, but it looks, I think, looks really quite lovely. And I'm very happy with the overall effect because the skin looks flawless. It looks pretty radiant and it doesn't look heavily made up. It doesn't look overly done. And I'm a big fan of using strong eye makeup if you like, or strong lip. But I'm not a fan of strong skin. I think skin should really try and look as much like skin as it can. And I'm quite happy with that. That's for other, I think that's quite jolly, really do. Let me know what you think. But I wanted to just show you this quick way of doing it. It's a really nice way. One other thing you can do is to keep this on you, put some powder on it like I just showed you, put some setting spray in it and just pop it in a little plastic bag, and you can touch up throughout the day and just maintain that kind of beautiful finish. Thanks for your time, appreciate it, and I'll see you all soon, bye bye.